Okay, so this is the Marjolein Delhaas, or Marjolein Delhaas, depending on how Dutch you are, I suppose, planner, and I've been in this planner for 10 years. As you can see, it's got really minimalist typography, a year in view, and 2 pages for that. And then a little ribbon to mark your place, of course, and then you see a week at a time. This is my favorite style of layout. Vertical layouts work really well for bullet journaling or time blocking, whatever your style is. And then there's always the next year after that. This is kind of a forecast area where you can really look ahead, plan trips, travel, astrology, more on that later. And then there's a little notes section. Totally blank pages. In years prior, this used to be in a color, and you'll see some of that in the footage. But now they're all just in the matching white color that the whole body of the planner is made out of. The leather cover has this thick chipboard backing, which makes it really easy for writing on your lap or kind of out in the world as you're walking around a site and want to make observations. Super well made, high quality materials, and has just been my favorite no matter what. I'll show you the measurements here. I think it's 6 by, let's see, 4.5. It's an A6 size. It's really different than what you're used to. If you're in a Moleskine, you'll see some size comparisons of that here in a minute. So here are some layouts from a year's prior of my own. The vertical list, not really observing the times that are noted, and on the new design, those are just marked with dashes anyway, so you can use that structure to your own methods or liking. There's a year in view, and then she also always releases color covers. So let's talk for a minute about what happened in the first 5 years. How does anyone get to 10 with one single format of planner? So this planner has held me and my professional life as well as my personal life through some really transition-oriented times, which everybody knows what that means here. 2016, I started out with this like leather feel planner. It was very firm. This board at the back gives the rigidity to the whole planner. I was in Moleskine notebooks at the time. This was a Moleskine from around that time. And this is how the size compares. So it was a big step down. It felt like a real adjustment to bring my penmanship down into something smaller and use this format. What I love about this planner's format is its vertical weeks. I've always preferred a vertical week. I've always kind of thought in that schedule layout of how things are going to go. I think now they call it time blocking. And it's just such an organized way to view your day or to set priorities. I'm a list maker, so this vertical way of working through a day is perfect for me. You can bullet journal in it, you can time block in it. So now it's just hash marks. You can decide what these mean to you, which I think is a cool step forward in the design and the layouts. But this really works for me, seeing a week at a time, where we're starting, where we're going. My weekends do have a little bit less going on than my weekdays, especially back then. And so this planner format was perfect for me. And you can see right away that this is a pretty unique binding. This is called Smythe Sewn binding, and it's done by machine or by hand. And then there's just a little bit of binding glue here, but it's otherwise exposed. I think people sometimes think it's broken, but it's what allows for a completely flat layout. You can kind of see some stitching in here. I like those touches. There were definitely 3, maybe 5 or more people that touched this object as it came together in this form with this set of materials. And I think that's really helpful to my day because I too am a creator. I too am trying to improve process and improve my results. And working with something that someone else has already worked so heavily with is such a treat, such a pleasure, such a gift. These materials come together. You see kind of this leather cover. This is a foil stamp, which I think is really beautiful. And I find that everything that sticks around in my life tends to have a foil stamp on it. And then inside this cover, there's a little pocket here. This size change was probably the biggest adjustment that I had to make. But I wanted to step into something slightly smaller, slightly more compact, easier to kind of take into a meeting and quietly take a few notes, maybe not draw so much attention, not such a flex at the table with a larger notebook. And my penmanship obviously got crisper, my pen strokes obviously got smaller, and I really enjoyed being in this size of planner for the rest of that year. This is the 2017 cover that used to be on this text block. This is what the text block looks like when you rip the cover off of it, which I did in 2018 because I tried to save a little bit of money and order a paper cover, but I had been so used to the rigidity of this cover that I absolutely couldn't stand it. And so at the time I ripped the paper cover off this, ripped the leather-like cover off my 2017 block, and I reattached this to the back. 2020, I went back to the paper cover thinking I would be okay with it, and it turns out I was. That was in part because in 2020, I just stopped trying to plan anything. 2020 obviously went a lot of ways for a lot of people. Everyone has a very personal story to that time. And you can see there's just like so many pages that were totally blank in the back that I just never used. When it came to putting down intentions every week and managing tasks, that just really went offline in a number of ways. 2021, back onto the leather-like cover, stayed with it for 22, 23, tried the paper cover again, in part because of the color, and I work in product and color design, so seeing a color come to market that I feel like I knew was headed to market years prior is really, really fun and validating, so I wanted to enjoy carrying this brighter color with me. There's just, I think, to not discuss the fact that your planner and where you take it with you makes impressions about you is a missed opportunity. It's a key accessory. It stays with you all year long, and it's a part of how you're, presenting yourself in a public space, oftentimes in a professional setting. So I took this blue one with me to kind of signal, hey, I've got a point of view and I'm not scared of color and I'm kind of plugged in. Okay, up to current time, 2025. You can see I went back to another paper cover, but this time I tried out the accessory that is like kind of a little acetate cover for it, like a little sleeve. And I'm guessing that's going to protect it from wear and tear. It certainly has so far, compared to these other paper covers that I've had that kind of show their age on the spine, which I really like. I think it's proof that I had a pretty active year and was into using and making this my own. So I got this because I thought it would be fun for collage. And collage is one of the creative methods that I'm exploring quite a bit in my work right now. It started out in my practice, I'm sure, as mood boarding and has become less formal, less curated, and more just a way to remind myself of certain intentions, and having a visual touchstone for those things really helps. I think a really fun thing to do, and take this or leave it, is to listen to the Chani annual forecast for your astrology, and to, rather than come in here at the weekly level, do that at the yearly look ahead level. So maybe Chani suggests that April is going to be really great for career, or September 2026 is going to be really challenging for household finances. I might note that here and then kind of look at what's coming up, especially when I plan travel and time off. It's such a great altitude to do that from. So thanks for taking a 10-year look back with me at my commitment to this particular planner. This size is such a standout. The vertical weekly gives me tons of options for listing or just noting what's happening, and I hope you give it a try. Would love to see your comments about what planner you're using year over year and the insights you've found. And don't forget to like and subscribe.